The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Okay, so as a college student, one thing they don't tell you about is that if you decide to major in something that has to do with creativity, whether it be drawing, film, theater, English, photography, any fucking thing, is that a lot of us, our jobs are to go in and be critical of different kinds of media. And one of the major things that we are very much critical on are things that we enjoyed growing up. Because we have to look through these things through a critical lens in order to get our degrees, we have to accept the fact that so much of what we like has flaws. And so much of the material that we have talked about in my courses were things that I grew up with, and I've had to accept the fact that there are problems here. And I shouldn't think that they are exempt from that because it's something that brought me comfort growing up. Do I like Rocket Power? Yes. But I'll be the first person to tell you that it's not a good show. Okay, it's not a good show overall. Why is it that every time I make a video we having technical difficulties? Hey y'all. Okay. Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harriet's pirate ship. I'm the captain, you are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello. I'm Harrietta and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now, on day 5 of Nick November, we will be talking about Rocket Power. I'm gonna be honest, the lineup for Nick November has changed, mainly because so much bullshit has happened this week, but also I've been reading you guys' comments and a lot of y'all are bringing up good points that I want to elaborate on. And somebody had mentioned Rocket Power in the comment section, going off about the scripts for this series, and I really wanted to elaborate on that because I mentioned Rocket Power in another Nick November video. But before we get started, Black Friday starts tonight. The day that this video goes up, Black Friday actually starts tonight on my website, harryonthehook.com. Everything will be 35% off the entire weekend up until Monday night, the day of my birthday. So yeah, the entire weekend, everything is 35% off. I have added tons of new things. I added a whole bunch of new bonnets. I've added some stickers too. I've also added 2 new hoodies. So yeah, and I also restocked my famous Ladybug and Carte Noir bonnets too. So yeah, harryonthehook.com. No discount code needed. It will be applied at checkout. Now, let's go ahead and continue on with this video. Also, this akumatized hoodie that I'm wearing right now, yeah girl, it's gonna be on the site. So yeah, some of y'all was asking me about this and I'm like, I made it. But yeah, now before we go any further, what exactly is Rocket Power? Rocket Power, I say, has to be a show that is about extreme sports and just kind of like the day-to-day lives of these people that live on this island. No, is it an island? No, they don't live on the island. Get it together, girl. Mind y'all, it's late, but it's people that live on a beach and the shenanigans that happened there. And I remember in the 90s and in the 2000s making shows about like skateboarding and just extreme sports in general was like a real big deal. I'm pretty sure this was around the time period when Jackass was really popular. But during this time period, shows like this were like the hot topic. It was a trending topic. So it made sense for why Nickelodeon wanted to have their own kind of show that was like that. For the longest, a lot of us, oh shit. Okay, So here we go. So I'm gonna be completely honest. A lot of us mainly have good memories when it comes to a lot of favorite childhood shows. Has to do with the fact that we had not seen them since we were that age. We have not seen them since we were that young. I know we talk about all like the negatives that comes across with streaming, talking about the subject of how people have become very impatient with that and slow burns are dying because of that just as well. But one positive thing I would have to say that has come from streaming is that a lot of people have been taking their rose-colored glasses off with a lot of the media that they consumed when they were younger. And I have to say that Rocket Power has to be one of the shows I was the most critical on when I went and revisited it. Now, during 2020, remember when we were just all like locked in our house and streaming pretty much everything, I went back and started watching like a lot of Nicktoons, ones that I could find online or ones that I was able to find on streaming services. I found As Told by Ginger. I was watching All Grown Up on Amazon Prime, and I say those were my two favorites, but I was a little bit more biased towards All Grown Up, mainly because I could relate to a few of the characters a bit more. But then I went back and I watched Rocket Power, and mind you, I didn't have a terrible time watching this series, but let me tell you, it was a chaotic experience because while I was enjoying what I was watching, it's very beautifully animated. The voice acting's great. I love a lot of the backgrounds and the sets. I really like a lot of the outfit choices that were in the show. The beach scenery was beautiful. I do appreciate that this show offered representation for Indigenous people because they do deserve more shows, even though this show does have issues with a lot of the representation that was at hand. I have had to come to the conclusion that Rocket Power aged poorly, aside from a lot of those things. And so much of that has to do with the sake of how it was written. So Rocket Power, in my opinion, is a show that I felt as if had everything it needed to be much better than it actually was. And I want to be honest, like I said, Nickelodeon makes programming for, you know, people of all ages, specifically children and whatever. I get that, I understand that. But let me tell you something that I have noticed when it comes to the subject of Klasky Supo. And they gave more attention to certain shows than others when it came to storylines. I'd say that the best written Klasky Supo show would have to be As Told by Ginger. And it's kind of interesting to know because that's the one a lot of people don't quite remember growing up, but they rewatched it when they were older and they appreciate it a lot more now than they did back then. My personal favorite Klasky Supo show is All Grown Up. Was All Grown Up perfect? Hell to the motherfucking no, but I still enjoyed it. I'd say the only Klasky Supo show that I wasn't really all that big on, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, there's a few more Klasky Supo shows that I don't care about. Because I personally don't care about All Real Monsters because it scared me about the way it looked, like the eyeball character, ew. And also the Wild Thornberrys. So Klasky Supo was a show I'd say that had a big range when it came to the type of content they had. A lot of their shows are pretty much different from one another, but then also that's going to, you know, play into like what goes into them. While we did have that quantity factor of Klasky Supo, I have to sit here and say that when it comes to these series, there's only a few that people actually sit and talk about and remember. And that has to do with the fact of which ones they chose to replay later on during the entire the 90s were all that era. And that era right there went and showed a lot of us if these shows were good or not. But one thing that kind of got on my nerves about the 90s or all of that is that they picked and choose which episodes they wanted to play. And they would play like the same like 20 episodes of each show. I'm not even fucking joking. They did that. And they did that with Rocket Power too. And during that time period, I really did enjoy Rocket Power. Like, I'm not even fucking joking. I did enjoy it when I watched it. But like I said, they would play like the same few episodes every single time. When I actually went and started like actually going in and watching a lot of the episodes, I sat there and I was just like, yeah, there's a reason that a lot of people simply just remember this show for what it looked like than what it actually was. Rocket Power, in my opinion, is not just a problem with this show, but this is something that I've noticed with just a lot of shows when it comes to like family entertainment. But it's not even a family entertainment thing, it's a sitcom problem where a lot of shit is very, very repetitive. Because I noticed that even though in Rocket Power they would be doing different things in every episode, the formula for every episode would be the fucking same. And I think that's part of the reason why I enjoy watching The Simpsons so much, is because I noticed that the show doesn't necessarily do that. They do it like sometimes, like from time to time, but I know when I go and I want to watch a lot of these episodes that focus on Lisa Simpson and Marge, because those are my favorite two characters out of the main family, I know that I'm going to be getting something new every time, or at least every so often. Rocket Power, on the other hand, like one thing in particular that really got on my nerves is that Reggie kind of like was like, I don't have any girlfriends. And then when we actually see her interact with other girls, we're like, yeah, we can see why. But it even isn't just stuff like that. It's like the show was just hella repetitive. And it was repetitive in like the worst way possible. It's not as if it was repetitive with the same shit happening in every episode. The dialogue was very much like resemblant of each other in every single episode. You could put these characters in different situations and different scenarios and it will all play out the same. Like somebody in the comments actually pointed out how like the formula of how a Rocket Power episode goes, and I'm gonna read it because that's exactly why I was like, this is a chaotic mess and I'm low-key enjoying it. It's funny. That's one of the other things I would say about Rocket Power, is that it's funny. It has a good like shade, the shade that the characters would throw at each other, the mean little nicknames and shit like that. Like I think the show is actually very hilarious, but when it comes to the formatting and for how these episodes go, work needed to be done. And usually when I sit here and I get on my channel and I talk about these problems with a lot of these shows that I grew up watching, I like to get on here and talk about like the race and misogyny aspects of all of those things. That's not even like the thing when it comes to Rocket Power. It's just the setup formula and how it all plays out the same at the end of the day. It is freaking irritating. But like you guys see, I'm laughing. I'm like, it's irritating, but like I said, I'm so impressed by how much and how often this show was able to do this. Like I said, I was kind of impressed. I was like, I like my stickers on my phone. Let me show you guys. Not a little self promo, but like I drew like the Ed and Eddie girls. It's like black girls. Sarah's at the top. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest, that's just me. When I did my Sarah cosplay, I drew that. That's Marie. That's Nazi Naz. That's Lee. And that is, what's the one? May. Yeah. Okay, this was the comment that one of y'all left. Thank you, by the way. And it says, I like how you mentioned Rocket Power. There's an entire video I can see you doing. The four kids' friendship was so toxic. Otto was so arrogant and never learned a lesson. Reggie had to be mature, responsible one, and she was the only girl. Twister just followed whatever Otto did. And Sam was like the group's punching bag. Plus, all the period dialogue became horribly dated. That's it. That's literally it. And like, that is pretty much the formula for almost every episode of Rocket Power that focuses on the main four. Like, that's it. And like I said, I'm the type of person, like, I do get annoyed with like repetitive like media and whatnot, but it's so funny to see because it's always beautifully animated. Like rewatching Rocket Power as I got older was a very chaotic experience, and it's so freaking funny. Like every time I see people do like Rocket Power cosplays and stuff like that, I'm like, y'all actually remember this show? Do you remember? Because your opinion might change on it. One thing about adulthood is that they don't tell you is that you're gonna have to start thinking critically about a lot of things, and so much of that has to do with like, you know, what you study in school. Because of what I am studying in college, it's kind of hard for me not to look at things critically anymore, and it kind of gets a little frustrating for me personally, because somebody had even said something to me like this, and I understand why. And they were like, why can't you just watch things for what it is? Why do you always have to overanalyze everything and this and that and the third? And I was like, listen, as much as I would like to shut my brain off sometimes and just like things for what they are, what I am studying in school kind of doesn't allow me to do that. And I'm somebody that is like a workaholic. If I'm not working, I am basically busy with school. I am basically reading all of these texts. I am having to watch these movies. I'm having to watch these documentaries and whatnot. So it is a bit difficult for me to just kind of like turn that part of me off when it comes to me just simply want to watch things for entertainment purposes. So yeah, like even times where I get annoyed when I'm watching a lot of these shows and then something racist happens and I'm like, we talked about this in class, or I'm watching something else and then something misogynistic happens and I'm like, oh my god, we're talking about this in class. It's just like an ongoing cycle of me just kind of be like, no, enjoy it for what it is. But then also the other part of me is like, girl, there's problems here that we talked about in school. But that's pretty much all I just wanted to say. I just wanted to get on here and express how I was feeling about like Rocket Power and just rewatching the show as an adult because it's funny. I most definitely would like to make more videos about the series. I'm not even fucking joking. I might do like an entire analysis. I don't necessarily know yet because like I said, Rocket Power, it's not a chaotic masterpiece, but it's a chaotic mess that's enjoyable. Did it age well overall? No. Was there good that came out of it? Yes. Like I said, I'm always gonna call shit like what it is. The show was extremely beautifully animated, and that's one thing that I've noticed when I go back and I watch a lot of like my favorite shows growing up. They are beautifully animated. Like I've been rewatching Ed, Edd n Eddy a lot. That's why y'all see the stickers, and I just can't get over how nice the coloring is on that show. And Rocket Power, I love the beach scenery. I truly did. I wanted to leave this video off on a more positive note because I didn't want people thinking I was just gonna get on here and shit on Rocket Power the entire time. But as you guys can see, I do enjoy the show, even though it ain't all that great. But yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, the sale starts tonight. Yeah, the Black Friday sale starts tonight. I'm super duper excited. Link to all that good stuff will be down below. Like I said, you do not need a coupon code or nothing like that. It will be applied at checkout, okay? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day, night, whatever time of the day that you're watching this. If you're in America, happy Thanksgiving to you. Hope you are safe. Hope you eat a lot of good food and whatnot. I hope you're doing well. By the way, Black people celebrate Thanksgiving as a way to go meet our families, okay? So yeah, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day, night, whatever time of the day you're watching this video. I'm just thankful that you watched the video with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.